You're sitting at home, it's late at night, you're just relaxing, watching TV, reading your favorite book, whatever. All of a sudden, let me in, they're trying to kill me. You go to your front door, you look out your peephole, hoping that nobody will see you. What you see out there is a guy, and he looks very suspicious to you. What would you do? Now, this exact scenario happened to a woman named Allie in Newport News, Virginia on March 12th, 2015. When she heard that knock, she looked through her peephole, saw a guy out there. He looked very suspicious. So she immediately grabbed her cell phone, called 911. As she's talking to the dispatcher, she walked into her other room and she grabbed her firearm. Well, when she turned around to go check on her daughter that was sleeping just a few feet away, the intruder was 5 feet in front of her. She aimed that firearm at that intruder and shot him 2 times, making sure that he wasn't going to be able to hurt her, harm her or her daughter. Now, the reason she was able to do this was because her husband was a police officer, and she's had a training with the firearm, and they've practiced these scenarios so that she would be able to help protect her family if the need arose. Now imagine that scenario if guns were banned in this country and she wasn't able to defend herself or her daughter. I hate to think of what might have happened in that situation. I'm going to dispel one myth for you, and then I want to give you a couple reasons why guns should not be banned in the United States. Now, the first myth comes from gunfactsinfo.com, and the myth is that guns are not a good deterrent. Well, that's totally false. They did a survey of some convicts, that were sent away for violent crimes and other things. 60% of those ex-convicts admitted that they would avoid crimes when they knew that their victims were going to be armed. And 40% of those ex-cons said that there's no way they would have committed those crimes even if they thought that their victims were going to be armed. Now, what's that tell you? If these people that are prone to doing those types of acts aren't going to mess with somebody that they even think might be armed, wouldn't it be a good idea if a majority of the people were armed? Maybe that would put a damper on some of these outrageous crimes that are happening in our country. England, they banned all handguns in 1997. Well, 10 years after that, within the 10 years to 2007, their violent crimes soared to 77% to 1.2 violent crimes. Now that's a lot. And if you break that down, it's 2,034 violent crimes per 100,000 people. While as in the United States, there's 466 violent crimes per 100,000 people. Now I want to bring it a little closer to home. Washington, D.C. essentially banned all handguns in 1997. Their murder rate's about 56.9% per 100,000, while just right across the river in Arlington, Virginia, they have very less restricted gun control. Their murder rate's 1.6 per 100,000. Another case I'd like to share with you to bring the importance of being able to have a firearm to defend your family. In 1982 in Kennesaw, Georgia, the mayor, they passed a law requiring every family have one firearm in the house. When they did that, their burglary rate dropped 89%. And as of 2012, according to cityrate.com, their violent rate crime crime rate is 74% lower than Georgia's average, and it's even 70% lower than the national average. Now that's quite a bit if you think about it. So by having firearms, you know, people just thinking that there is a firearm in the house, they're not going to go in walking in there. One big problem I think we have as a society when it comes to gun control is a misperception of gun control. We don't need to make rules and laws to ban guns. What we need to do is get laws in place to benefit society, to help strengthen society. One of the reasons why, you know, we as a society are desensitized to violence, whether that because the video games, whatever, mental health issues, whatever. In closing, I'd like to leave you with a quote from Justin King from Mint Press News. If you want to change society, you have to actually change the whole of society. You can't blame an inanimate object that's availability has absolutely no correlation to murder and expect to end violence. One last thing I would encourage you to do is go to NRA.com, join them. They are the leaders in helping fight the bans against gun control. And then you can go to AmericanGunFacts.com, click on the Take Action button, type in your email address and zip code, and it'll bring up a link to your legislator, and you can email him your thoughts or concerns to make sure that we can defend ourselves from whatever necessary evil that might come to us. Thank you.